Afternoon, Dr. Elena Sherwood here from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, coming in for my weekly live relationship advice Q&A. If you're catching this on a replay, stick around. I always answer some questions that I hope will be helpful for others. Who am I? I was a couples therapist for 35 years. I was a licensed clinical social worker. I have since retired that, and I am now a relationship coach. I also, just as a side note, the advice, the nuggets I give here are also based on, yes, the practice. I practiced for 35 years, but I have also been married for the last 33 years. So 33 in May. So anyway, I like to start with that. So in case you're curious about, if we're meeting for the first time, this is me. Welcome, those coming in. And if let me know where I'm finding you. I may have mentioned I am in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm Canadian. Glad to have you here. And so I'm going to get right into answering 3 questions that have been asked of me lately. And these actually, yes, lately, but these have just kind of come up over time consistently. They come up quite regularly. So here's one question. Oh my gosh, I get so excited. Here's, let me get right to it. What's the difference between a partner needing some space or giving me the silent treatment? It feels different. When someone needs space, there is still a little bit of contact, and you might get shallow answers like, sorry, what time are we leaving today? 5. It's not a complete shutdown. And they might not be wanting to talk about certain things, but it's only certain things. And sometimes they really do just need some emotional, a little bit of room to kind of calm themselves down. But you don't feel like you are not allowed to be near them. One rule one recommendation I have to people is, if you are someone who needs space, give it a time limit. Give it a realistic time limit. Maybe you could say, like, I need a couple of hours here. I need a couple of minutes. Just help me gather myself. It does not take that long. Thanks for the thumbs up. It does not take that long to emotionally reset, because sometimes we can calm down. And sometimes just that little bit of calming down is enough for us to find the words we need. This is what we say to the little kids, right? Use your words. Don't be tantruming. Use your words. And so sometimes we just need a little bit of a break to find our words. If it's the silent treatment, there is a coldness in the air, and they might look right through you, like you're standing right there and they're looking, like what did I become transparent? Like, what, am I disappearing? So there's that feel of it. I'm not a fan of it. I agree that everybody needs some room once in a while, but be kind and respectful about it. Treat your partner the way you would want them to treat you. So that's kind of the thing. And so for some people, I've heard, it's heartbreaking. People tell me that the silent treatment has lasted days, weeks, for some like minimal conversation in like a month or so, or longer, for 2 people who live together. And that's not healthy. That is not going to help you. Bad. Find your way to find words. If you can't get that stuff sorted, find ways. Because the minute you start giving up on talking to each other, you're kind of giving up on the relationship itself, whether you realize that or not. And so please, I have an entire course. It's a free course here on YouTube on what to do if you are affected or the person who uses the silent treatment. So there are no excuses. There is ample free information out there. So, okay, that was the one. The next question is it okay to Is it okay to is it okay to stay quiet sometimes just to keep the peace? I want to say yes, but it's a very small yes. But yes, sometimes your partner is like everywhere and you know they're really volatile. However, that's not sustainable in the long term, in the long run. We're talking about your home. A partner is, of sorts, some kind of a home for you. So if you're living like this and you're living kind of like, where are you? Where do you go? Where do you think you go? You go into yourself and you're like literally shrinking yourself. So if there is some emotional regulation that needs to happen there, if your partner's not very good with it, that does not become your problem. I would love for you to find ways to always be yourself. Maybe you're using a gentler tone. Maybe you're giving a little bit more pauses. But the minute you start letting somebody else take over the entire relationship, that could be very, very emotionally harmful to you. It does not make for a good, lasting, thriving relationship. And by good, I mean something that is good for you. And if relationships are not good for you, it's a sign that there's some really unhealthy dynamics. So what do I usually suggest? Find ways to break those if you can't. If it's you or them, get the help. If you can't get that to happen, then I usually encourage people to rethink if this is good for them and if this is really the kind of life they want for themselves. And you're thinking, yeah, but we're just kind of dating right now. Well, dating turns into long-term dating, and then it turns into, and then people they don't want to leave. So then it goes longer and longer. And next thing you know, yeah, but we got a mortgage and we got 3 kids and, whatever. Like, no. Right from the get-go, find the ways for it to be healthy. That's important. All right, question number 3. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. If you're catching this on a replay, feel free to post them. And if you have nothing to ask or nothing to say, just give me a little hi so I know you were here. Right. Question number 3. Again, welcome everybody coming in. What kind of things make my partner lose respect for me? I rephrase this another way too. Why do I feel like I don't respect my partner anymore? So the theme here is respect, and it is a cornerstone in relationships. When I did my doctorate, I narrowed it down to 3 things. Hi, thank you for being here. I narrowed it down to the pillars of 3 things. Intimacy, you actually like each other and love each other. Commitment, it gets hard, but we stay and we work it out. And respect, where they value each other. And so now, okay, to get right to the question, what kind of things makes my partner lose respect for me? If you constantly dismiss your partner, they're trying to tell you something and you're like, yeah, I don't feel like talking about that. Or they give you their feelings and you're like, yeah, okay, what do you want me to do about that? You must care at some point about how things are affecting them. That will make, if you don't give about that, they won't feel warm towards you, which is also another form of respect. When you are constantly being dismissed, constantly being ignored, constantly being given the silent treatment, constantly being treated like you're dumb or stupid or worthless or insignificant, or, that will make you lose respect for that person. And it's huge. Why would anyone want to be in a relationship with someone who makes them feel like trash? And those behaviors will, in fact, make someone feel like trash. And so if you are someone who sometimes says to your partner, or maybe more often than you should, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Or, yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way. I got to go. Or I don't really have time for this. If you're constantly the one pushing away, be very careful with that. There's a lot of deep feelings involved here. And you want to pay close attention because, believe it or not, it is these little things that erode over time. If you've seen any of my content, I'm constantly looking for patterns. Yeah, you've got this behavior, maybe they do this, maybe they do that. But are there times that they still pay attention and they do their best? So, is the pattern always? It is sometimes. And are there areas that where there is the reaching out, even if it's uncomfortable and awkward, even that matters. So, any questions? If you're here, let me know where I'm finding you. For those who've come in a little bit partway through, Dr. Elena Sherwood. I'm in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I was a licensed couples therapist for 35 years, and I've now retired that, and I am now a relationship coach and a content creator here on YouTube. So do let me know if you have any other questions. If you have any questions, I do have, there was one more that I thought if I don't have enough time, I won't, but I do have. What's the difference between giving someone grace and slowly losing your voice? We have to be mindful about giving grace is, okay. I think sometimes we give too much, as in, oh, they're tired. So, oh, he's tired. Oh, she's just tired. That's why they're snapping at me. I'll give him some grace. I get it. They've had a long day. Okay, maybe. But does that make it okay for you? Does that make any behavior okay because someone's had a hard day? Like, you could be kind without expecting or tolerating bad behavior. You could still say, I'm sorry, it sounds like you've had a rough day. Can you please not yell? That's okay. If you're going to lose a relationship for setting small boundaries like this, it ain't built on anything strong. So that's it should be okay for you to say, I know you've had a rough time, but can you still use a kinder tone? And now, again, if that's you and you're kind of unleashing a lot and your husband, your partner, says something like that, like, babe, I know you're really exhausted, but it's okay for you to say right now, like, talk about it. Don't shut down and don't, talk it through. If there's a bump with that, talk it through. Somebody asked me, this literally came up in another live that I was in. They're saying, I'm really reconsidering whether I should stay in this marriage. It hasn't, it's been really, really whatever. Should I tell my husband? Yeah. Your partner, your spouse ought to be the first to know. I would want to know if my husband's planning an escape because he's unhappy with me. So talk. Find opportunities to talk. Go for a drive, go for a coffee, whatever it is. Talk. All right, I have talked my little heart out quite a bit today. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time. What I do here is clarity. I'm not big on labeling things, but I am big on understanding and helping people sort out the stuff that is sometimes very hard to talk about. That's what I do. I talk about the hard stuff. So if you have any questions as you watch this, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get to it. And outside of that, thank you for spending some amazing vulnerable moments with me today. You have plenty of things to do and plenty of places to be, and you've allowed me to share some of that with you. So I am grateful, and I'll catch you again next week.